Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, how you doing?
And I'm Sam Healey.
Yeah.
Can I get some emails?
Okay. Today we are doing the People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. The way we do the People's Choice Top 100 is we I put up voting on the Dice Tower website, and you can vote for up to 20 games that you'd like. Your favorite games, and then the computer does the rest of it, and we get we add points depending on the order you put them in. So if you put just one game in, it would get a lot of points, but nothing else would. Mm-hmm. You put 20 games in, it spreads them out. Now, we had 2,170 people vote in this, which is a pretty good sample size, I think.
It's better than most AP polls.
That's true. Although this would be a very specific poll, obviously.
Yes, of course.
There was 2,271 different games, which is just a little more than one per person.
Wow.
Does that surprise you? I mean,
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
wow.
a huge...
well, there was 956 games that got one person to vote from.
That's great. I think that
individually.
Yeah.
that's a lot of designers
Okay,
voting on your poll. That's
Those
great.
games only
Icebox slash.
So, no, but one of the things I found interesting was even the number one game, which got a ton of votes, had less than 1/3 of the people picked it on their list. So there's no game that everybody would put in their top 20.
No, I think that's great.
Although I will say the top 10 or 20 kind of dwarfed. I mean, it's a really steep curve after a while.
Okay.
So when we get to the top 10, you guys can guess to see if you can guess the which ones you think will be number one and such.
I'm sure by then we really won't care that much.
Now I know what they are, so I'll be going through them. And what Sam and Zee are going to do is giving their comments. So first of all, I guess we should mention the game that just missed out was Glory to Rome 101. All right. Another game that should have been on the list but wasn't is Colosseum. That's a game, well, not really. It's out of print, which is why it's not on the list.
It's my own.
Okay, just for the record, you can see my copy here, so Sam did not steal mine, and I'm also not dead.
Not right, because he had said he was going to take yours when you died.
It was kind of a creepy moment.
Actually, I had a Twitter response.
To that, you put that on Twitter.
I put my it's my own presence on Twitter, and one of the responses back was Tom died. So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out. I told you I was going to do this, Mr. Wessels, Mr. Nuclear Wessels. Jeff, thank you so much. You're the bomb.
And you saved my life.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because I did have a plan in place. Now I can shelve it for something else.
That's why I like lighter games. Sam doesn't have a need to kill me.
Colosseum's all right, anyhow.
He doesn't want any of my stuff.
All right, so here we go. In this video, we'll be doing 100 through 81. We should get started on that. Here we go. Number 100. I'm surprised this one was on the list, actually, and that's Space Alert. Space Alert is the cooperative real-time game in which a spaceship's blowing up. And
no one talks about it anymore. Interesting. I barely hear this game mentioned anymore.
It's basically Robo Rally with speed at it.
Right.
You don't like this one. You don't like it.
I don't like this designer at all. So.
On the other hand, I like this designer a lot. He's a very nice guy who had a lot of fun playing games with him. But I do not like this game.
Okay, I don't think you know the designers because that's
Space Alert.
That's Vlada.
Oh, I'm thinking about something else. My bad. This one actually isn't that bad.
Oh,
I actually didn't.
I like it.
I didn't hate this game. I
thought you would actually.
halfway enjoyed it. You
have to admit, there was some entertaining. So one of the things I liked in it was that, like partially through, it'll be, and no one's allowed to talk to each other.
Right,
That's interesting.
Oh, it's a neat idea. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I just don't like the speed aspect of games. I don't know what it is. I wanna think about what I'm doing. I don't want to do stuff off the cuff and then get slammed for doing stuff off the cuff.
All right, so that's 100. Number 99, Citadels. I'm like,
We'll wait for...
Eric's not here, so we don't have the Citadels.
You can do it.
You know what, though? I was at the Fantasy Flight Event Center, and I asked them about Citadels. I said, so is it kind of fading out? And they said it was an evergreen, that it's still doing really well for them. I thought Citadels would die out with the advent of similar games that have been released.
I have to say, that game is one of those games that is almost never mentioned in the same breath as Carcassonne and Ticket to Ride, but I think it's that kind of game.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's a perfect way to put it, an evergreen game.
You got to kind of tweak it a little bit, you know.
But it's just one of those games that everybody has played.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that's just below Carcassonne as being sort of on everybody's radar a little bit.
It was the I wouldn't say it's the one game, but it was one of the original games that got me back into gaming. When it was the first game we played at a Korean
Board game cafe. I'll tell you, we sat down and we played, and my mind was just blown.
Yeah.
I was like, wow! You know, I could take a card and it's a roll, and it was just, I never played a game like it. It was
really cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah. That's a good choice.
Props.
Number 98 is a new game because it just came out of Essen last year, and that is Nations. Which I didn't realize Nations was so widespread to be able to get voted on the list, but obviously.
You mean you don't think there were enough copies printed and or sold?
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of people are playing it. I guess it got out there pretty quick, I guess. And I've noticed
it was a hot game at Essen, if I'm not mistaken, and I think a lot of people like it. You know, diehard Eurogamers and sort of Civ players like it.
It's got a cool theme to it.
I think there's a
Civ
definite
theme is popular.
Yeah,
Right.
I was just going to say that the correlation, I think, that Civilization games seem to have an automatic edge.
Right.
If you make a Civ-themed game, people will look at it.
Anticlimactic, though.
I don't like it because it's way outside my comfort zone, but it's a very well-designed game. And it's
long.
Yeah, it's really long, and it's not a theme I'm into. But
You're not a big Civ guy.
no, especially when it's real people references or real things like Through the Ages has actual people. You know, I don't like that. But it's clearly like a monster of a game and respected.
But you like Seven Wonders a lot, though, so...
That's real people.
I mean, it's not real people, it's real...
No, leaders is real people.
Okay.
Leaders, yeah.
And he likes leaders.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So that was...
I'm a hypocrite.
No,
Yeah,
you're not a
yeah.
hypocrite, it's just... Okay.
All right.
It's less specific, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Number 97. Well, that was number 98 Nations. Number 97. You guys will complain about this one.
Oh,
It's Pillars of the Earth.
No, it won't. I like
It's
that game.
97, though.
Yeah, but it's really old. Not really old. That game's pretty old, but that's great.
That's like 10 years older, maybe now.
Yeah, that's kind of old in board games.
I thought you would think that was too low.
I'm more upset that Coliseum didn't make the list at all. To be honest
I
with
think
you.
that's great. I'm glad it's still popular
Yeah.
enough to show up,
Those are the
especially
deserves.
with the amount of worker placement games that have flooded the market after this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's great. I'm always singing the praises of this game, and I'm glad it's still out there and still being enjoyed. It makes me happy.
Yep.
Okay, but number 96
Uh-oh.
is another
You're on the
worker.
right number here because I feel like we only did 199.
Yeah, we did Space Warp, Citadels, Nations, Pillars of the
that's
Earth.
right.
Number
Okay.
96, which apparently the people said is a better worker placement game than Pillars of the Earth, is Kalis. See, now they have the problem.
Yeah, no.
I knew this.
No! Can't agree with you at all.
I actually like Pillars better than Kalis myself, but I can see Kalis says that it's a deep worker placement game, a very heavy one,
Right.
and there's not many of those. And it was one of the first ones that did a lot of interesting things. Not the theme, but the rest of it was kind of interesting. I liked it.
I demand the recount.
Yeah,
I am surprised it's higher.
the computer has spoken. Number 95, Mansions of Madness.
Wow.
I was
Really?
surprised because this one came out and it was a big bang. Everyone in our group played it for a while, and we played it, and it was interesting, and then it was like, whoop, gone.
Yep. Fell off the end of the earth.
Yep. This is the second space alert on this list. I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore.
Yeah, but I mean,
Don't see it
Fantasy
being
Flight stopped
flooded
making
everywhere.
expansions for it, which is a sure sign that the game is on its
I
way
would
out.
so use Doritos Scope.
So, I don't know.
Sorry.
Okay,
What?
all right, number 94. This is before Titans, I'm sure. and that's Cyclades. A very solid game that a lot of people like.
Well, why did you say before Titans, of course?
Because I really think when Titans comes out, if it gets enough
gonna be
widespread, I think so. For me, Cyclades really jumped. I played it before my top 100 this year. I mean, I made my top 100 before I added Titans to Cyclades.
Right.
It would have a good chance at making my top 100 with that expansion. I really liked it.
like
It
that
brought in
expansion.
a lot of
did too.
conflict. I think it certainly upped it for you.
Yeah.
Because you like conflict.
Yes.
And that made the conflict much more,
Palatable.
yes.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily go to that game just for the conflict, but it did make the conflict a more viable and less slow strategy. You know, because conflict was fine before, but it was a little it took a long time to set
to
it
build up,
Now it's
yeah.
like, hey, I'm paying some gold, I'm going to crash your gates in. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like it. And that's a great game.
Number 93 is Letters from Whitechapel.
That's good.
So you're not a big fan of this one.
No, it's too. It lacks flavor. This game for me it's too bare. You know,
Okay.
it's too
It's too much like Scotland Yard.
like they took away too much and stripped it to its bare bones to the point that there is almost no game left.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well,
to me,
the game's there. The theme's just.
This is a quick game about capturing Jack the Ripper. Some people are detectives, and one person's Jack the Ripper, and you're trying to do it. Jack the Ripper is leaving. Well, you're looking for clues to figure out his path. Once you figure out his path, you can find him.
right. And so for me, it's lacking in the theme department. Yes.
But I can see why it's still liked because I still see this being played often. We just saw it played Saturday.
Yeah, we did.
And it's a good genre. The whole cat and mouse game is a great genre.
All right, number 92 is a game I'm pretty sure you haven't played, and I don't think you have either, and that's Village. You haven't played Village, have you?
No.
You wouldn't really like it. You would hate it. It's a worker placement game in which your workers can die, which is actually an interesting concept. When they die, you...
Sam loves
You-
killing time.
You mean somebody's gonna die? No, when the worker placements... I mean, when the workers die, you like put them in the cemetery and you get points that way. There's different ways to get points.
Wait, you get points for people dying?
Yeah, because their names get written in the book of death or something to that effect. It's actually, the game is okay, but it feels very mechanical. Very mechanical, which is why I wasn't a huge fan. But obviously, a lot of people like it. I believe it won the Kenner Spiel.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
So-
it was a well-received game.
And I
Well-received
believe an
heavy Euro.
expansion for it is coming out this season. So for a couple years old game, that means it still has legs.
Yeah.
And obviously it was number 92 here. Number 91, which is an old game, is Robo Rally. I still like Robo Rally. I always like Robo Rally. I was surprised because the Hasbro one came out a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
The Hasbro reprint, maybe?
Yeah, the reprint, right.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, the original game is
No, but there's
came out
been-
just before.
There's been
Magic.
Hasbro. You mean the Avalon Hill?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, the Hasbro / Avalon Hill
that one's
one.
been out for a while. It must be just the latest reprint.
Right. But there was also, it originally came out from Wizards of the Coast, and a German company, Cosmos, I think, picked it up.
Really? Okay.
And, well, I can tell you, I have the box for it somewhere around here. Amigo picked it up.
Okay.
And so I have like a mix of all three sets. I like it. And I mean, you're not a huge fan of it.
I eventually got bored with it. Yeah.
Chaos in a box.
I liked it.
Logical chaos.
If it was played in a really
Nice.
short map and it was kept to a
Your logic can.
small space so you could actually have the conflict, then it was okay. And I eventually sort of outgrew it, and I was pretty done with it.
Logic is thwarted by chaos in this game. Too often.
Fair enough. Number 90. Okay, we've done the first 10. This one I was surprised that it was so low. I thought this would be in the top 20. And that's Elder Sign. And the reason I thought it would be so high is because it's had such huge sales. It's still selling over the top.
It
And
got a lot of hate though because I can't remember exactly what the hate was about, but I remember a lot of people down in Elder Sign because of it. Just seemed like it was supposed to be Arkham Horror light
Dice game, basically.
yeah, and it was
Well, I know why
just
people knock
too
it.
much out.
The reason I've heard it being knocked is two things. It's too long for a dice game version of the other game, and the theme pales in comparison to its sort of brother games.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Eldritch Horror is one more nail in that coffin driving it farther out from the top 20 or so.
I don't know. Either way, I'll say that it's very popular, has done very well, and it's quick and easy. And
I enjoy it. It's actually my favorite game from that whole family of games. You know, Eldritch Horror, Arkham Horror, Elder Sign. I like Elder Sign the best.
That's just because it's shorter, though.
Not that much. Yeah, it's shorter, but
What do
it's
you mean,
not
not that
short
much?
game.
Come on, that's like
it's like an hour. Come on.
Yeah, but for like chucking dice, it's kind
That's
of
true.
long.
It is a
you know
long
what I mean?
dice chucking game.
But I enjoy it better. I don't know. I like the mechanisms in it a little bit better. So it's my favorite game in that genre, in that with that theme, I should say.
All right, so 90 is Elder Sign. Number 89, abstract strategy game.
Cool.
Hive.
Okay.
You like Hive.
Hive is okay.
Very cool. I love Hive.
Hive is okay.
That's an awesome game.
Hive, I'm very impressed with this game. It has. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it has its fans, and it's so well produced.
It's
I think
one of those less is more kind of games. Usually, I want a lot of eye candy. I want a lot of aestheticism. I want all of that. But Hive has really kind of won me over that. It's very basic. It's very simplistic, and the carbon version of it looked really cool too.
Yeah.
And it just had that less is more feel.
That's one of the few games that's a modern game in the abstract genre that has a real shot at becoming a classic, I think. You know what I mean? Like a true shot at being...
a game people still play in 100 years.
Yeah, I think so.
That should be a top 10 games we think will still be played in 100
That is
years.
pretty good. Let's keep that in
All
the
right.
back pocket.
Put that on the docket.
Number 88 is Thunderstone.
Hey.
Thunderstone.
Why is this so low, people? You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, Thunderstone is... I was looking to see what other deck builders may show up later on. Thunderstone is a game that has a lot of fans.
I wonder.
Huh?
I wonder what.
Now, is this Thunderstone,
show up
Thunderstone
later.
Advance, both things?
Thunderstone Advance, I threw in the votes for Thunderstone, and it brought it up a little higher. Sometimes, and I still wonder if it might have been robbed. I didn't go through every single vote. I try to go through all the votes that I can and fix things that are mistakes.
Right.
When you go do Thunderstone Advance, there's nothing that says Thunderstone Advance, the basic set. They each have their own name, so people might have voted for different ones.
Numenera, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, gotcha.
Oh, I see what you. Okay.
Number 87, higher than Thunderstone, is the classic game that Stephen Bonacore reprinted, Survive. Now, do you have Survive?
No, I do not.
Okay. It's a great family game, as long as you don't mind making your family cry.
Weep a little bit. just a mild amount of weeping. Never hurt anybody.
No, I still remember playing this. You stick the vote, you look at your kid and they're like, the lower lip starts quivering.
Then you grab it. Oh, that was just a 6. Calm down. It's okay.
Survive, you're trying to flee an island that's sinking, get your guys to safety while eating up the other people's ones with whales, sharks, and sea monsters.
It's a game that is 30 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
It's
right?
pretty close to that.
And holds up very well. It's a well thought out and well put together game. I'm glad
Now,
it's
I'm
on the
confused.
list.
But was this a flash game on a computer before it became a board game, or was it a board game first and they made a flash game out of it?
It had to be the board game
idea.
first because it came out 85 or something like that.
did.
So it couldn't, there was no Flash then.
Yeah, that's
There was DOS.
yeah. Well, yeah, I understand that. I just didn't
Run program.
I just didn't know which one came first because I used to play it before I played it as a board game. I used to play it as a flash game all the time.
I think what happened was the game went out of print, and so people wanted to play it, so they made a game on the computer,
okay.
and then Bonacore picked it up and reprinted it.
Okay.
Number 86, Better Than Survive, Trajan.
I've yet to play it, but I am actually interested in playing it. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Trajan. The thing about Trajan is it's a good game, but it honestly feels like a bunch of mechanisms thrown in a box. It
I have
really
to say,
does.
I've read the rules. I've looked at the game. I've read the rules. It is certainly one of the most point salady games that Stefan Feld has done.
Point salady.
Like, I like his games for the most part. This is truly like the one that you go, hey, I got a point for that. 2 for that. 6 for this. 5 for this one. You have a leftover sandal at the end. A point. It's like it's anything. Everything's a point, couple points. It's wild.
This one and Bora Bora.
Bora Bora I haven't played.
Bora Bora feels like Trajan again.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's an interesting theme. I do like that. It's thin.
Well,
obviously.
by
but
thin you mean non-existent.
it's got pretty pictures, you know. I do want to check it out, and I do like the Rondell thing, so I want to try that.
No, this one's not Rondell. This one's Mancala, almost. It looks like a Rondell.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, well, we know you like that. All right, number 85. This one, I was surprised in a pleasant way, Among the Stars.
Cool.
That means it's starting to see traction here. For a while, I felt like we were the only people talking about this game. Thank you, Mr. Bonacor, for bringing it to America.
Yeah, now that it's out, I expect it to just climb on this list because that is an amazing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just playing it. That was Saturday, too. I think I saw that being played, Among the Stars. Just a solid game. People like drafting, but then you build a space station, cool artwork, and I like tile placement mixed with drafting.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, cards that you play out as tiles is always neat.
Number 84 is a game I like. These two guys aren't quite as fond of it as I am. Another cooperative game, Flashpoint Fire Rescue, but has obviously done well enough to make it to the list.
Yeah, well, it's got like 52 expansions.
Well, no, but that's not the reason
right.
for the expansions. I'm telling you, the reason it makes it is because it has a very unique theme that works.
And
If you say to someone, you want to help put out a fire, they get that.
Yeah, it's easy to relate to. Right. It's easy to sell. To pitch it to a non-gamer and be like, this is what it's about.
Or even a non-geek.
Yeah. You don't want to start talking about dragons and, fairy gold and stuff, and people might check out, but I want to be a firefighter and put out fires and save people? Cool.
Right.
If they are a geek, what you do is you play the game, but you put a dragon. He's the guy who started the house on fire. He's shooting fireballs into the house.
Dude, I like it.
Flashpoint Fire
Travis,
the dragon.
if you take that, Travis, that's Mars. Number 83 is another new game that just made it on the list, although the first edition probably would have been on the list in earlier years. I can't remember, and that is Battle Lore 2.
Okay, cool.
Battle Lore, the second edition.
This is a hit for FFG, yeah, and then they got some expansions coming out.
Should be higher.
Okay, you got it. You're going to run out of saying that eventually.
No, I'm not going to run out of
Eventually, he'll start saying should be lower. I'm pretty sure that's how math works out.
That's exactly what it's gonna happen.
I'm no math genius,
What you think?
but I'm pretty sure past the 50 point.
I know you're not a math genius because you can't count to $13 billion. Never going to let you forget that.
Why did I try to count to $13 billion?
XCOM.
Oh, yeah, and that's actually just 13 tokens. Each a billion, but I can't count.
So anyhow, but yes, okay. So Battle Lore 2, a great tactical game, really beautiful. It is not just some small improvements to Battle Lore. They revamped the whole system in, I think, a really good way.
Cool.
Number 82, a game that Sam and I still take flack about our review of it, Chaos in the Old World. Because we had the audacity to say we didn't like the theme.
Oh, horror.
Well, here's the thing, though. The game is a very good game. Yeah. I don't like the theme, so I have a hard time getting over the being a demon enslaving humanity and using, the board as a skin and all.
Right.
But that doesn't detract. If you don't mind that theme, this game is one of the best asymmetrical games in existence. There's every person is different. There's even an expansion, Horned Rat expansion, which adds more differences to it. Yeah, this was the game I think that put Eric Lang on the map. And now he's colored all the map with
ruling the map.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Yeah, this is a game I remember enjoying it, but I barely remember the game. I've only played it once. It's been a really long time. I would like to play it again.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I remember liking it. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, that's what makes it so difficult for me is because I remember everything being asymmetrical, and I liked that part of it. Everybody had their own feel. Everybody had their own powers, but I don't remember how the game is played.
Right.
I don't remember any of the mechanics. I don't remember. Glimpses here and there. But the one thing I remember is, man, this board is supposed to be representative of human skin. I mean,
I just like owning my own piece of human skin.
And so it just didn't win me over. And
I don't mind. I don't mind the theme. I just barely remember the game. I want to play it again.
Before we get a million things and the thing. Everyone has different themes they don't like. I'm sure you don't have themes you don't like.
We've probably already heard many times what you're about to type. So save us the time.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I am admitting the game is quality. Okay.
Okay, yeah. We'll go there.
Number 81. a game I know you two haven't played. That's Dungeon Pets. Pets. This is from Zee's most designer, Vlada Shvato.
On Dungeon Lords I played, and no thanks.
Sam saw the box, thought it was a dumb-looking box.
It was cute.
Sam does not like cute unless it's
We know cute unless it's Nexus Ops. The cute is killing
Never
on
gonna live that
a
day.
strange world.
in Dungeon Pets, you're raising different pets, but you got to make sure that they're in the right pen, or they'll break free, or they'll magicize, or they'll mutate.
Magicize? What is that?
Magic eyes. I don't know. It's magic with IZE put on the end of it. It's another Tomism.
Tomism, baby. Get it on a shirt.
Anyhow, I like this one a lot more than Dungeon Lords. I thought it was a very solid game. My daughter also liked it. I mean, part of it, we won't lie, is the theme.
Right.
Theme came through pretty strong, but it is pretty heady. It's close to a heavy game. So anyway, that is 81 Dungeon Pets. So that's it for this episode.
Cool.
The first 20, or the last 20, or something like that.
Definitely the bottom 20,
All right.
unfortunately for some of them.
Will the games get better?
Yes.
According to the people.
Again, maths?
We can only hope.
I'm pretty sure I can't count.
Anyhow, until next time, I'm Tom
I'm
Vasel.
Zee Garcia.
And I'm Sam Healey.
And you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.